Okay, guys, I think we're going to get going in this basis and allow others to join. I appreciate there's some people here on camera, and just to say from the top of the hour, we're going to record this session with the view to sharing with people afterwards. So just if you have a preference for being on camera or not, this session is slated for 45 minutes. So what I might do is ask people if you have questions. We'd really encourage questions and love for people to interact with the session. We are going to try and answer as many of those as we can. We'll do that at the end of the session. So for any that come through afterward or need answering afterwards, we can get back to you if we don't get you in the session today. But just to start from the top of the hour, this webinar on data analysis and visualization was something we've been working on over the last month, myself, Patrick, and our colleague Lisa. There's a lot of activity around this area at the moment, and people looking to get involved in it. So this webinar is really just about giving people a simple introduction into the application of Power BI itself, really some of the simple concepts around data visualization, data management, and integrity. And how we build up those visualizations using Power BI. What we're going to take you through today, I'm going to take you through just an introduction to the team, the application itself, some of the concepts around data and big data itself. And then I'm going to hand you over to my colleague Pat, who will take you through some of the build up of the dashboards itself around data cleansing, visualization, and then into the dashboards. So hopefully not too much or not too invasive on people's time today. Should be a simple enough walkthrough. But again, any questions or if you need any clarifications, please let us know in the chat and we'll get to those as soon as we can. Thanks. Okay, so an introduction to our team here in LBS. So the three of us working on the digitalization side include myself. I'm a director in LBS Partners, and I specialize on the business process improvement and also digitalization side of the house. So I've worked for years in process improvement across a number of industries and more recently on the digitalization and system side. My colleague Patrick, who's on the line with us today and will be presenting, will take you through some of the kind of dashboard build up. Patrick has a background in data analytics. Pat's our data guy and our go-to when we need help with Power BI and we need to get our reports built up. And also Lisa Finn, who unfortunately couldn't join us today, but Lisa also specializes in the Microsoft Power Platform. Some of you may be aware of, but we'll bring you through an introduction to that today. Lisa specializes in Power Automate and creating simple Power apps for clients as well who have a need for that. So without further ado, just head into our first slide into the meet. So what we want to do today is give people an introduction into business intelligence. So it's very topical at the moment. A lot of people are throwing around the term, but business intelligence itself, really to dispel anything other than it is using the data that you have in your business, where previously data was just an indirect production of something we had using our finance systems, operating systems, or needed to be used in our Excels in the operation. People are now really driving value in the organization by harnessing this data. So by analyzing and transforming this data into, as it says, actionable insights to really drive that decision making. So we're talking about driving data-driven decision-making, driving efficiencies and productivities in the organization, getting a better understanding of our customers through interactions and information that we can get back from our customer service applications or functions in the organization. It can help us to manage risk, understanding the data we have and exposure to different markets, to financial elements, to suppliers, to the purchasing side of the house. And in a lot of cases, it can actually drive real competitive advantage if you can harness your data and get that edge on customers through the use of dashboards or quick reports that you can drive decisions from. It's really making a difference in the market we've seen as well. So going from business intelligence to Power Business Intelligence. So Power Business Intelligence, or Power BI, is what Microsoft call the application that they use to assist organizations to get a handle on this data and to really start driving those benefits that we've seen. It's very powerful, intuitive tool. It's an application that allows you to very easily collate your data in the organization, visualize that data, interact with it if needed across organization, across time zones, across different offices that you guys have, and really drive that informed decision making that we're talking about. So from my point of view, from personal experience, and without getting too nerdy on this side of things, Power BI really gives you the kind of the suite of visualization tools and reporting tools you kind of could never really get the benefit from or drive in Excel, or you could, but it took a huge amount of effort. They really take the pain out of driving the collation of that data and actually making those visualizations a reality that you can share across the organization. So just to take a closer look at Power BI itself. So it's a cloud-based system. So it has a huge amount of power and capability in that it has all that compute that Microsoft have to offer in the background. You have a huge suite of dashboards, reports, and visualizations that you can use to convert your data into the formats and visualizations we spoke about that you need. It's built on Excel as a foundation. So they've really built Microsoft on that original Microsoft Office suite that we all know so well. And they've taken a lot of that concept and the visualizations, but also the structure in how the data is pulled together, collated, and how you visualize it. So we'll see in a little while examples that Pat has as he builds up to a dashboard, how you can take simple data sets in from an Excel basis or from an ERP system, a finance system that you have, and actually build that into something that you can drive a decision from. And finally, given that it's in the cloud and it's a Microsoft as part of the Microsoft family, there is the potential to drive some AI, some simple AI or machine learning. Not to get into that in any too much detail today, but if you have your data collated in one location and you have that visualized, Power BI itself can make suggestions to you based on the data you have, such as, trends over the last couple of years on financial data and forecast out ahead for you. It can drive what if scenarios, and it can even take some of the metrics that you have from a number of different dashboards and pull them together quite easily and quite quickly for you. So just on the benefits of Power BI itself. So number of those up on the screen itself, and I'm not going to read through them all, but just from my point of view, the real beauty of Power BI is just the simplicity and the speed with which you can just pull that data together, visualize it, and share across the business. It really makes it simple and speeds up the data decision-making process based on the fact that data is really at your fingertips and available to you at all times. Added to that, and we can speak about it later as well through Patrick's work, you can automate behind the scenes and just get the system to pick up on the data from your other sources. So if you work a 24-hour business and your ERP is running in the background, you can set up Power BI to constantly check, automate, and update the reports so that they're as live as you can possibly make them across the organization as well. Okay, so just moving on to data itself. So I'll just give a brief introduction into data itself and its benefits, but similar to the benefits of BI, if we can get a good handle on the data that we have across the organization, it can really help us to drive decision making, get the benefit of customer insights, drive operational efficiencies, competitive advantages, and help us manage our risk as well across the organization. So just before I hand over to Patrick, what I want to do is really just take a moment to explain the idea of big data. So this has come about really, the concept has been around for a number of years, but people get a bit confused when they're talking about data versus big data versus our Power BI and business intelligence. But if you just take this simply as data is what you have in the background of your systems or what's driven from those. So if you take a simple ERP system, it's the data that's behind that. Big data refers to when we get to the levels of volume or speed or complexity in our data that really are simple tools such as Excel, or what we use, simple complexities around macros or big Excel sheets that we use start to struggle. And the speed at which we need to collate this data and get it dispersed out to our organization really put pressure on those suite of earlier systems. So as we said, the benefits of Microsoft and Power BI being a cloud-based system allows a huge amount of added compute. It can deal with a lot more complexity, it can deal with a lot more volume, it can deal with a lot more variety. So where those simpler systems were able to deal with data, we're now talking about how we deal with big data. And I think on that point, I might hand you over to Pat, who's going to take you through, where we get to around this data, the cleansing of data, and really moving into making that a reality. So again, just if you have any questions, we'll try to take those at the end, but I'll hand you over to Patrick on that.
Perfect. Thanks a million, Mark. Yeah, so let's try and get away from a bit of the theory and let's get into some real life examples. So first issue that we kind of deal with when we're looking at these is the data integrity, and it's a common issue across a lot of our customers. So data integrity is the process of ensuring that accurate, consistent, and reliable data is going in through your data set. And maintaining a data set is integral for decision makers with regards to making informed and reliable decisions. So in the next slide, I'm going to show a short video of how we take these 5: accuracy, completeness, reliability, consistency, and timeliness, and make a data set clean before we import it into Power BI. So if Mark, if you can play that video now, and you'll hear me giving a few more insights into it. We're about to import an Excel data sheet with 300 entries into Power BI to gain valuable insights. But wait, look closer. Dates are in the wrong format, customer names with misspellings, missing information, and even nicknames in places of official names. These small issues can cause big problems down the line. Errors like these can lead to inaccurate reporting, incomplete visualizations, and a loss of trust in your data. Whether it's Excel, CSV file, or any other data source that you're taking from, whether that be from your CRM systems or ERP systems, the quality of your analysis is only as good as the data you start with. When you import this unclean data directly into Power BI, you risk skewing dashboards, misleading metrics, and wasting time spent fixing problems later on. Imagine reporting based on wrong dates, miscategorized customers, or incomplete sales records. This is why data cleansing is critical before importing your data set into Power BI. By fixing these issues early, standardizing dates, ensuring accurate spellings, filling in missing information, you ensure that your dashboards will reflect the truth. Clean data means clear, actionable insights. Once your data is cleansed, importing it into Power BI becomes seamless. No errors, no surprises, just reliable information to power your decisions. Whether you're dealing with this Excel sheet of 300 entries or a data set 10 times the size, these issues are universal. Cleaning your data before importing gives you a solid foundation, ensuring Power BI can do what it does best, turning raw data into powerful insights. So before you import any data set, whether it's a list of customers or a large inventory log, take the time to cleanse it. Your future reports will thank you. Great. So now that we have our data cleaned, let's take a look at the next topic. So data visualizations. So
thanks, Pat. I think it's probably worth noting just on that point that dealing with customers and building up these visualizations and reports, the data cleansing is the stone of the accuracy and the reports that you're able to create, but it's also it's the most difficult part of tidying up the data sets that you have to really drive that that decision making or informed decision making. So it's not the nicest job in the world, but if you want to get that accurate data, we have to make sure that it's in good condition.
Yeah, that's a great point. That's where most of our time is spent, is cleaning the data. So we have our data set clean now, and we're going to take a look at how are we going to display that data. So in this slide, data visualization, we're going to look at the art of storytelling, or the 4 C's that you can see there, which is context, categorize, climax, and closure. So storytelling focuses on insights and required actions. And this requires an understanding of the attributes and needs of the audience or users of the dashboard and what actions and decisions they're going to need to make from it. The information needs to be arranged in a way that desires a good flow. So from left to right, usually that's the way people will read the dashboard across. So applying a storytelling model, or these 4 C's, will help influence the dashboard and give you a visualization solution to turn the analyzed data into actual insights and drive business value. So if we go on to the next slide, it's going to be another short video, and we're going to use the data set from the previous video, and you can see how I built some basic charts and pie charts, bar charts, and line graphs in Power BI in the actual environment. So if you wouldn't mind playing that, please, Mark.
Tutorial video on creating basic charts in Power BI using customer query and complaint data. You'll learn in just a few minutes how to build line graphs, pie charts, and bar charts, and understand the use and benefits of each. We're working with a data set that we've used in the previous videos that includes customer names, dates of complaints, company names, complaint types, and the counties in Ireland where the customers are based. This type of data is perfect for visualizing trends and patterns related to customer queries and complaints. Let's start with a line graph. A line graph is excellent for visualizing trends over time. We'll plot the number of customer complaints by companies to see who the companies with the largest volume of complaints throughout the year are. The benefit of a line graph is its ability to show trends and fluctuations over time, helping us understand when complaints are most frequent. This can assist customer support teams in preparing for peak periods. Now let's create a pie chart. Pie charts are best for showing proportions or percentages of a whole. In this case, we'll use it to visualize the percentage of total complaints for each individual. Pie charts are great for getting a quick, at-a-glance understanding of the most active individuals submitting complaints. For instance, we can easily see which person contributed the most to overall queries. Next, we'll create a bar chart. Bar charts are ideal for comparing values across categories. Here we'll compare the number of complaints referenced by counties. Bar charts make it easy to identify which counties or regions are most active submitting complaints. This helps to prioritize areas of improvement and allocate our resources accordingly. In Power BI, customizing your charts are simple. You can change colors, add data labels, and include titles to make visuals clearer and more engaging. So when should you use each chart? Line charts are perfect for tracking trends over time, like the number of complaints for each month. Bar charts help you compare categories, such as customer complaint types, to quickly spot the most frequent issues. And pie charts allow you to see the composition as a whole, such as which counties report the most complaints. By combining these different chart types in Power BI, you can create a well-rounded dashboard that provides both a broad overview and detailed insights into customer complaint patterns, helping you take actions more effectively. With just a few clicks, you can turn raw customer complaint data into meaningful visuals that drive better decision making and improve customer services.
Great. So now we have the data cleansed and we've seen how to make some basic visuals within Power BI. So on the next slide, we're going to show another short video about how to create a basic Power BI dashboard from start to finish, slowly building up and trying to tell a story along the way. So Mark, if you wouldn't mind going on to the next one and playing that. I apologize again for all the blue, but hopefully in the next few examples down the line, there'll be a couple of color changes. I'm going to take you through a quick demo. This is the Power BI environment, and this is a very basic example of a car dealership. So here you can see we have a bar chart of just the quantity of cars sold by month.
and then I have a filter here for different years. So by clicking the 2022, you can see different figures to 2023. And this is a very good visual aid for you, so you can quickly get between. So we're going to slowly build onto these as we go. So in stage 2, I'll add on to the next, and hopefully by the stage 4, we'll have a full dashboard for you. So in stage 2, you can see again, I have the quantity of cars sold in your bar chart there. I still have my slicer or my filters for 22, 23, and now I also have a bar or a pie chart, sorry, separating the different types of cars sold. So hatchbacks, saloons, and vans. And you can see here with my mouse, as I hover over, it gives an insight into them. Now I also have a new filter that lets me filter by month. So you can see we sold 2 cars in February, one being a hatchback and one being a saloon. So the data is very interactive. Again, you can quickly drill into it and get more insights as you go. So in stage 3, we're going to add on again. So I still have my quantity of cars sold by month, my breakdown of cars, and now I'm going to see where in the country and what dealerships are selling these. So again, I've added an extra filter up there, but now we also have an interactive map. So you can see there's 3 areas highlighted: Mayo, Dublin, and Ireland. And as I hover over them, they'll give me insights. So as it hovers over Dublin, you can see there was 21 cars sold in Dublin in the year 2023. So now I've filtered it to February, sorry, and I'll filter it to Limerick. So I can see that there was 2 cars sold. They're the different types. Sorry, this is in the whole country. And you can see one was in Mayo and one was in Limerick. And then when I filter by Limerick, you can see it was 1 saloon sold in February, and it highlights the area. So these maps can be used for not just Ireland, anywhere you want. They'll zoom out to scale, so you can get a quicker oversight of what's going on. So we're getting there. We're nearly built out to our dashboard. We're getting more insights. So on the next stage here, you can see I've added a small bit more. So now we can see the quantity of cars sold, the breakdown type, where they've been sold in the county or in the countryside. I can also see the number of sales in financial wise. So as you can see there, as a highlight, there's 110,000 in sales in January. I've also added a new filter up the top by salesperson, and this waterfall chart here also. So you can see Mark sold 21, Lisa 16, and myself 14, so 51 cars altogether. And I can filter again. So as I select these filters up here, all the data changes accordingly. So that's just for February in 2023 and Limerick. And all the data is changing as it goes. But each of these charts are also can also drill into all of this data. So by unselecting all of those filters, as it's doing here now, and then just selecting a certain part of a chart, in this instance, the waterfall chart here, I selected Lisa, all the information has changed, and it's just catered to Lisa. So there's the amount of cars sold by Lisa throughout the year and in what areas. So I hope that gives you a bit of an understanding of the power of Power BI. And it's just a very basic example.
So yeah, we probably didn't follow our own recommendations there. That dashboard by the end looked a bit busy, but a few more examples that I have down the line, you can see that the storytelling plays the whole way out through. So if Mark, you're on the next slide there, I'll just give you a quick insight into.
You're lucky you're here to give the storytelling today. But yeah, hopefully people get a feel for the power just by building up that simple set of data that we had and that everybody has in their organization, that you can make it visible and you make it start working for you, and you can dig into sales by location, you can dig into by an individual revenue side. It really starting to offer new opportunities to organizations through the use of the dashboards.
Yeah, exactly. So I suppose all we've been talking about now is kind of in theory based. So we'll give you a case study to see how we've actually deployed some of these. So this case study is for a large paper bag manufacturer that I worked with. And they were facing a few challenges. So their current ERP system was a small niche provider that had only a small number of clients. So when the manufacturer needed more custom reports or visuals, it was a very long process back and forth between the provider to provide this, if they even did. Sometimes there was little to no outcome. And all that they really needed was to get insights. So employees that were pulling or were generating these insights in the back office were spending hours pulling data from various sources, multiple Excel files, downloads from ERP systems, and other sources. And the employees carrying out these exports were of various IT skills, so IT skill levels. So that caused major delays and reworks along the line, and the data was inconsistent.
which we were speaking about, causes a lot of problems. So our solution was to deploy Microsoft Power BI to harvest all the data from the various data sources in one place and compile the data into an interactive dashboard for management to get a quick snapshot of how the company was running, the production line. So the benefits of this would have been to free up considerable time for the back-end staff, the admin time. It helped management to have a much clearer overview of what was actually happening within the factory. And all these actions could now be taken in real time because the data was live. So if you want to move on to the next slide, you'll just see a quick snapshot of this. This is just one page from it. Again, a bit busy, but you can see it looks into absenteeism hours, back orders, orders received, the average bags produced, even by product type. So product A and B there, you can see what was produced, overtime hours, and what that was costing. So now that management could see the trends and then allocate the right employees at the right time. So yeah, that's just a quick insight. So on the next slide, before we play it there, Mark, is one of our latest offerings. So it's a sustainability dashboard. This one now is in better storytelling condition. But yeah, this is applicable to any business.
You've moved away from
customizable.
the blue.
We've moved away from the blue. We've gone to green on this one. Yeah, but applicable to any business across any sector. Sustainability is a big thing at the minute. So I've a short tutorial video of me clicking through the dashboard, and you can see it might spring a few thoughts for your own business. So if you want to play that, please, Mark. I'm going to take you through one of our new offerings, custom sustainability KPI dashboard. So across the top here now, we have our 4 kind of main KPIs: total energy consumption, total diesel consumption, total natural gas, and total electricity. And that's across the whole business. So you can see here I have a filter by location as well. So you can filter by offices or warehouses, all custom to your own business. And again, you can custom by different dates, and both these filters will change the charts below. So this one here is set at August 2024. So you can see here now, then if I select all, that'll do for the 3 years, and all the figures above have changed. So this is just your target line for your renewable energy target. So 50% reduction, and then what you're currently at, your renewable energy. And then these are the kilowatts used. Over here, then we have another couple of KPIs and kind of target figures. So for your total carbon use, electricity, natural gas, and heating oil, you can see these green lines, and they indicate what the target figure is. So, and the colors change as it goes. So natural gas, for instance, is 1K over its target, so it's green. Total carbon is about 400K over its target, so it's orange. And then the electricity is 6 million over its target, so it's red. So by clicking then down the side here, this navigation panel will go further into more detail. So if we're looking at travel within this company, again, you have your same 4 across the top, and this now is looking at flight consumptions and diesel consumptions so the flights are for any external travel that you're doing for client meetings or transporting your product across different countries, and then the diesel consumption is any vehicle usage. So again, these can all be filtered, so I can change this to 2024. You can see the countries there have changed. They'll zoom in. So in Germany, you can see there was 20 internal flights, or 20 external flights, apologies. Estonia 10, and Albania 23. And over on this side then, you can take a look further into your vehicles. So if I select a certain company car, let's say company car 3, you can see their different consumptions. So over 37,000 kilowatt hours were used for vehicle 3. And if we move on to the waste section, This again is just a breakdown. Here you can see the different types of waste that this company's used. So cardboard, bulky commercial, general landfill example. And if you highlight over, they'll give you a little more insight. So there's your tonnage and what percentage of the total that is. So wooden pallets, well, there was 27.5 tons used, and that makes up a little over 20% of your total tonnage of waste. And then you have a breakdown of these two company types, let's say. So 123 Waste and ABC Recycling. So again, you can hover over, but 53% of the waste was used by this company, ABC Recycling, and 47 was for the 123 Waste Disposal. Down below then, you have your net cost and tonnage by each of those companies as well. So you can see anything blue is for 123 and anything green is for ABC, and then the top figures are the tonnage. So there for general landfill, 123 was the company dealing with that. Net cost was a little over 14,000 and it was 32 tons worth. And again, you can filter these to do all time. Let's say you can see these will all change, or if I just want to look at one particular company, I can just select ABC and it'll affect all the charts then. It'll just cater to ABC. So if we go back over here to fossil fuels, this is just a little more detail on each of the up top figures here. So you can dive into a bit further on the electricity consumption. You can see it from month to month. So if you highlight over January this much, and it's fallen down considerably as you go, which means this company has been lowering its energy consumption. Same here with natural gas. You can see spiked again after the summer, starting to be used a bit more. And again with the heating oil, these again can be filtered again. So big 2021, for instance, you can see it was a big spike around Christmas time in 2021. So this way you can keep track of different trends going on month to month, year to year, and try and make informed decisions on that then. And again, you can filter by location. So I just picked warehouse 1. You see the chart below now is just located on this one. They're all just the figures across for warehouse 1. And all of these charts can also be dived in further by themselves. So if I reselect all there, if I pick office 1 there, it'll just be highlighted. Or if I come back to the waste one here, instead of clicking a filter up above, I can just simply click ABC here. You can see all the charts just change for what is ABC, or 1, 2, 3 there. This is just a quick example of how this sustainability dashboard can be deployed, but it's very customizable to any business type. So some of these categories may apply to your business, but others might. For instance, the flights might not be applicable to you, but they could be customized to something that is applicable to your company.
Brilliant. Thanks for that, Pat. I
No
think
problem at all.
just following that, I think you start to get the picture of how we can build up from that sort of data cleansing that we started with, right through the visualizations to these live and active dashboards for something that's so topical as the sustainability itself. I know you have another example there, Pat. I think it's similar to the one you have, but it was a kind of a sector that we built or had been doing some work with, an industry we'd worked in with the similar dashboard. They had a requirement to see some of their global revenues, inputs, and operations. So won't go through the whole video, but just to give you a kind of an idea for something else that we might have that's industry specific. So just to take an example there around the overview they have for the entire organization, where they're tying up their core KPIs that they run the business with are on that overview. And beneath that, on the left-hand side here of the screen, you can see breaks down into those kind of functional areas that they need to take a look at, maybe function by function. So these dashboards have actually allowed them to drive meetings in their functions, which then roll up to this overview. So aligning ourselves with our background in business process improvement, it's absolutely crucial that we make the work visible first. So that's done at a lower level at each team, and that's rolled up into those KPIs that allows the organization to get the quick synopsis or the quick information back as to what's happening in any location, or how are we doing against our core KPIs? Are we ahead or behind? So in this instance, we can see we're doing pretty well in the green on our 4 markers with customer satisfaction. We need to work on, need some work. So, look, I think with that, we might just move on to close up around, give this slide around the offerings of the services that we have as an organization. And if anybody would like to reach out or get involved with us anymore, wants to know some more about any of the offerings, please reach out to us. I know we have a lot of current and former clients on the line as well. So if there's something new that we can offer to you that hasn't been there before, or something we're working with you in another area and you feel this might be of benefit to you guys as well, please reach out. Let us know. I have just a slide here to the end, just with our own details there that you can see, and a quote from the big man himself in Microsoft. So I just want to say thank you to everybody else who's been on the line and involved in putting this webinar together. I have a question. I can see, Patrick, this might be for you. So if I have data in a number of systems, in a finance system, an ERP, and an Excel, how do I approach pulling that information together for the dashboard?
Perfect. Yep. So the beauty of Power BI is that it can pull up from all these different data sets. So if you, for instance, are using a finance system, QuickBooks or Sage or any of those, they can all be exported to a CSV file and set up a connection with Power BI. So it'll refresh automatically, but it will pull the data that you want. You pick the fields that you need and it'll come in. And then you can combine that data with any other data sets that you pulled in. So whether they're Excel sheets or an ERP system data, and then you can chop and change that data to make whatever charts you need. So yeah, you can definitely pull from 3 different data sources like that to combine it and make one dashboard. Does that answer your question, hopefully?
Just on that, Pat, following that, like the cleanse that we spoke about earlier and the data, like you have to do that individually for those data sets, or how do you approach that?
Yeah, you'll have to ensure that each of those data sets are as clean as possible. So going through our 5 points back previously. And then when you pull them in, you'll set them up in Power Query, which is a little setting within Power BI. And once you give them that format once, and you set up the refresh, it'll always come back in that format from the different sets. So you need to do the cleanse once at the beginning before you bring your data sets in. But once it's clean once, it'll be fine.
Excellent. Couple more questions come in there. One around the pricing. So this is one we actually were talking about yesterday evening, Pat, yourself and myself. Yeah. So do you want to take that one as well?
Sure. Yeah. I'll just get them up to remind myself. Sorry, you can also hear me, can you? Yeah. Yeah. So Power BI desktop, that's where you're going to create your dashboards. That's free. You can download that here today right now. Then there's Power BI Pro and Power BI Premium. Power BI Pro comes at a cost of $940 per user, and Premium comes at $1870 per user. To be honest, anything that you'll ever need would probably be within the Power BI Pro. That allows you to share and set restrictions, such as different levels of access to different areas of dashboards. So like my navigation panel there and previous ones might have had five different areas that you could click through, but you could set a permission that somebody can only see 2 of those, something like that. But yeah, you can build for free. It's just about sharing and interacting with it with a wider group. You'll need the Pro for that.
Thanks, Pat. I'll take a question from Evans, and there's just one other from Kenny. Then we'll get to. So if the source data in the Excels are accidentally deleted, does Power BI have a backup feature? So I know just personally from any of the Power BIs that I've created, most of the clients are already using SharePoint. So they're storing their data in SharePoint and driving the BI from there because it's in the Microsoft environment. It's clean and you're able to manipulate it and pull it in from SharePoint. And SharePoint itself has an automated backup and version control. So you can reinstate any files if data sources are deleted there as well. If you have them on your own servers and drives, you would have to just clarify with your own IT provider in-house. But there are ways in which you can back up the files using BI as well.
Yeah. Exactly.
And Pat, I think just back to your earlier question, Kenny Walsh, does everyone in the org need a Power BI Pro license to view the dashboards, or can you have super users with Pro who design dashboards and normal users with cheaper view access?
Yes, you can. So yeah, you wouldn't need everybody in your organization to have a Pro license if all you need them to do is view the dashboard. But if you need them to interact, like add it or update anything, then they would need the Pro license.
Excellent. So guys, I think we've no more questions here. That concludes the webinar. Really appreciate again everybody taking the time today. And please do reach out some of the information that we have, and also get in touch if you'd like us to share the content that we had today or any of the videos we have to give you a little more information around this. Appreciate the time again, and delighted to give everybody back 2 minutes. So thanks again all, and talk to you soon.
Thanks a million.